So one of the things that I like to do in the fall time is to start to collect some of the seeds that I've grown over the year. And one of the seeds that's time to harvest this time of year are cucumbers. The cucumbers are really slowing down this time of year, and it's time to collect the cucumber seeds out of the cucumbers that I let mature fully during the growing season. So as I think about the seeds that are in the fruit of the cucumber, I think about God's promise right after the flood, when he gave Noah the rainbow as a sign of his promise that he would never destroy the earth again. But he also promised that seed time would come and harvest would come and the seasons would continue and it wouldn't be another worldwide flood. So that's a promise to us that we know that, until Jesus comes, we will be able to produce the food we need by planting and harvesting and watching it grow. So we look at here some of the cucumber varieties that I like to grow. This one is called Poinsett, and it was produced by Henry Munger in about 1976. He was a professor at Cornell University, and he developed several different varieties. Another variety is the Marketmore. You're probably familiar with that one. That's quite popular. And there's also a Space Masters cucumber variety that he also developed. These are all the genetics in these are all very similar to each other. Also, there's one called the Table Green. So he was the instigator of those. So that's this one here. It is a nice slicing cucumber. This obviously is a mature one since it's yellow. It's normally just a green cucumber. This is another variety that I grew this year. This one's called Mideast Peace, and this one was bred by Alan Capular. He is located in Corvallis, Oregon, so not too far from us. And he was a plant breeder back east in New York, I believe. And he came out here to Corvallis because he wanted to pursue organic gardening and plant breeding in open source nature and not for proprietary companies. So this is one that he produced. It's kind of a Middle Eastern style cucumber. That's the name, Mideast Peace in there. And it's a very nice one, a very smooth skin. Doesn't have just a few little pokies on it, I guess you'd call it, or not really thorns, but they're a little bit of pokies on there just to protect it. But it's very thin-skinned and smooth and very delicious. Haven't had too many issues with bitterness. If you get it, dehydrated too much, obviously they're going to get bitter. But very nice cucumber. So I've grown these for a couple years now and saved the seed from them. So I've done that with this one here, and I also have another one with just a little bit different. It was a different plant, and it had just a little bit longer, more narrow cucumbers on there that I like kind of the shape of. So I'm going to be saving the seeds on that one as well, but it's not quite mature yet. So when I get these opened up, and I have some cups here, they're labeled. So put the seeds in here, then I'll take it in and put it into a colander. These seeds are big enough that they won't go through the colander holes. So then I'll rinse them and wash them out, get them nice and clean, and then I'll lay them out on some plates to dry. So let's take a look here at how we're going to open these up. So I would recommend not slicing all the way through it because you're going to cut a lot of the seeds. So you want to just kind of go in just a little bit, kind of carve it up. Get it opened up here. See what we got inside here. Yeah, the seeds look nice and mature. Usually at this point the cucumbers are quite sour if you try to eat them, but they are edible even at this yellowing stage. You can see all the seeds in there, and so they got little gel packs all around each one of them there. So a spoon would probably be a good way to put this in the cup, so I'm going to go get a spoon and I'll be right back. Alright, got my spoon here, so I'm going to put these in the appropriate cup that I have labeled here so I can keep track of them. So we're just going to kind of scoop the seeds out here and scrape them down. See if we can manage to get these in here. Nice lemony smell emanating from it. They're very nice plump seeds. So usually I try to pick one out that looks nice towards the beginning of the season when they first start producing, and let that one mature completely. Out of here. Lots of juice in here too. So let's take a look at the other variety here. This is the Poinsett 76 cucumber. This one has quite a bit more spines on it. I'm debating whether or not I want to grow it next year or just grow one variety. So I like the other one so much better, the Middle Eastern ones. Let's see what we got here. Looks like some nice seeds in here. Get my cup here. See what we can do here to scrape these down. Starting to decay up the top there, so it's a good time to get these out before it gets too bad and before they start sprouting. It's a pretty easy job to do. Just takes a little time to set aside to open it up, collect the seeds, and then get them all rinsed off and labeled, or let them dry first, and then come back in a week or so after they seem nice and dry and package them up. Some of these are not going to be fertile, so if they seem really flat and there's not much in them, you can just kind of discard them and keep the nicest ones. So watch out for that, because you don't want to save a bunch of seeds and then plant the ones that aren't going to be viable. Okay, that gets most of them out. So I have 2 cups here. Make sure you label them so you don't, if you're doing more than one variety, so you don't get them all mixed up. Now I am taking a little bit of a risk here because cucumbers can cross between the different varieties. So I did this last year and it had good success. I didn't have any weird oddball ones coming up. They all seem to be fairly true to the variety that I got them from. I did notice on the Mideast piece there was a little bit of variation in the size, I guess the shape of the cucumbers. Some plants are just a little bit different than the other, which tells me they may have crossed a little bit. I'm not sure. It's hard to know if there's just still some variation in the seed, how true, how pure the variety is. But it actually was a good thing. The longer, skinnier ones that were a little bit more unusual were actually a good thing. So I'm going to be hopefully, try those and try the other one that's a little more round. This one's got a little bit more roundness to it. The other one's just a little bit more narrow, longer and skinnier. So it'll be interesting to see, hey, maybe there's some little bit of crossing isn't bad. if I get a bunch of spikes coming up on the Middle East Peace ones. I know there's probably was a little bit of crossing, or get some other characteristics that are undesirable. I know that they may have crossed, but for the most part, you don't have to worry about it too much. So, but yeah, anyway, just wanted to encourage you to give it a try. Maybe next year you can plan on setting aside some cucumbers. If you just do one variety, then you're probably pretty good, as long as you don't have neighbors with a whole bunch of other varieties growing right next to it. Shouldn't have an issue. Or if you wanted to do like an Armenian cucumber, which is basically a melon, and shouldn't really have too much of an issue with that crossing with it. So, you know, if you wanted 2 varieties, you could pick that as an alternate that you can grow nearby. So anyway, seems it's nice to be able to save your own seeds, and it's no, you know, you don't have to go buy that seed next year. You can say, oh, check it off the list, I already got my cucumber seed for next year. And so you got to, you know, make sure your plants mature enough, just like zucchini or something like that. If you planted or harvested a huge zucchini, but it's still green, and it was just there for a week or something growing, don't bother saving the seed, because it's not gonna, you know, grow. You want to, you know, save one out, mark it or something. I mean, you probably don't even need a market. Once this gargantuous thing starts growing in your garden, you'll know that's the one that you want to save. But just let it go clear to the, you know, now, you know, October, November, somewhere, whenever before the frost hits. You know, just kind of wait it out, and if it's nice and yellow, usually zucchini will turn bright yellow when it's fully ripe, if it's a green variety. And, well, you can't really tell when like I have some of the yellow ones as well. But those are obviously a little more tricky, because if you grow another squash, don't bother trying to save it, because I even did hand pollinated it. I didn't do it fully. I closed up the blossom and then opened it up in the morning and took a male blossom and then pollinated it and closed it back up. I thought it was good, but I didn't understand at that point that the male blossom can also get contaminated with other pollen, because those bees are running around in there. So it actually did. It was fairly true. I did grow some of them this year, and some of them were fine. Other ones were definitely not. They were kind of bulgy and kind of bumpy and ribby, and that's usually when you get some bumps on there on a zucchini, that usually means it got crossed with something. So even all my diligence, if you don't understand it completely about, you know, you got to protect the male and the female flower, and then open them up, pollinate, and close them back up again, or at least the female that's going to produce the fruit, to close that one up again and let it mature, and then mark it and save the seed off of that one. If you don't do that whole process, don't bother trying to save the seed, because it's almost inevitably they're going to cross. The squash are very hard to save. You got to put a lot of effort into it. But some of the other ones, like tomatoes, are extremely easy. So anyway, I don't want to go too long here. So anyway, thanks for watching, and God bless, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.